Hey, it is so good to see you
Oh
today.
my
Thank you so
gosh.
much for doing this.
I'm honored. Thank you for doing what you're doing and talking about perimenopause and menopause. Thank you and thank God that somebody's talking about this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like I've been talking about this for a while now, and I'm taking my internal thoughts and my discussions with friends and now broadcasting them. So it's kind of fun. So
Yeah.
let's start with who are you? Name, age,
Yes.
what do you do?
Yes. So Lynn Melling, age 47 as of 3 weeks ago.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, work in marketing communications, which is kind of what we share a news background, which is how we got to be friends because I think bumped into each other on LinkedIn and both realized we were both had been in news. So kind of that storytelling journalism, brand journalism thing. So yeah, do marketing communications strategy. My husband and I own a video production business called 515 Productions. So yeah, working with your husband is also another part of the stressors that we face in our day to day. It's lovely. I enjoy it, but I think that's kind of part of this whole journey for me. So yeah, live here in the Twin Cities, have two wonderful kiddos, ages 16 and 14. So that's another transition, into driving. So lots of transitions happening in this 47th year on Earth.
Oh my gosh, it seems like all the things happen all at once in
Mhm.
this stage of life. So,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
would you say that you are in some phase of this lovely thing that we call menopause?
Absolutely, but I had no idea that it was happening to me until it just kicked me in the ass one day and I realized something's wrong. But I had no clue anything at all about perimenopause and menopause. I was totally oblivious to this whole thing up until one day when I was like, something's not right. What's going on here?
So tell me a little bit about what symptoms were you feeling? Because as I said, I'm working on a column about symptoms, and I think of it as symptom whack-a-mole because at least my experience, I would have one thing pop up. I would try a bunch of different things, maybe eventually find some success. I'm like, okay, I've got this under control. And then all hell would break loose somewhere else in my
Yep.
body.
Yep.
So what was your experience? Tell me a little bit about, what happened to you.
Yeah. So I remember it very vividly. It was April of 2025, so April of this year. And I was just out for a walk. And it was a lovely spring day, and my everything in my life was pretty normal, stable, nothing super different happening in my world, no drama for once. And I just felt like this panic. I started feeling almost like I was having a panic attack. Um, for no reason. And I'd been feeling like increasing anxiety over the last month or so, but whatever. I've been struggling with depression and anxiety my whole life. I've been on medication since I was 25. So it's nothing new for me. But on this day in April, it was like this panic attack, whatever I'm having right now, is not my normal anxiety, depression that I've been managing for all my life. I remember I got home and Ian, my husband, was home, and I sat down and I'm like, something's wrong with me. Something is happening in my body. I don't know what's going on, but something is wrong. Um, and then I just kind of started to really pay attention at that point. And I started to notice, like, okay, I'm having increased crying jags. I'm having increased where I just kind of fall into a black hole one day and just feel miserable. My self worth, my self confidence had shrunk. My ability to withstand negative feedback was gone. And so, kind of, it was this panic attack in April that kind of woke me up to all these other things that had been kind of maybe just under the surface. Also, my bleeding during my periods was so heavy, out of control. Let me see my list. Actually, I wrote down a list. Oh, my sleep, because brain fog, memory fog. I had to write down on a list my symptoms because my memory fog, my brain fog doesn't allow me to remember, but that and sleep, um, ability to just concentrate and focus. My ability to multitask. I'm usually like I can multitask like a champ, just unable to do that. So those were yeah, when you think about like symptom whack-a-mole, it's this big,
Yeah, cluster, it
yeah,
sounds like.
Yep.
So what did you do? What was the first step? Like, where did you go? You told your husband, but then like, where did
Yep.
you go, or did you go anywhere for help?
Yes. So thank God, one of my dear friends, one of my besties, Leah Dussault, she is a guardian angel in my life. She had been dealing with perimenopause, menopause for probably about a year. And I'd heard her talking very openly and raising awareness about like, I'm not sleeping well, something is wrong with me. She had gone to see a hormone specialist, hormone replacement therapy specialist, maybe about a month prior, and was having really great success with her new medication. And it kind of finally clicked, that I was like, oh, this must be perimenopause. So I made an appointment with this same hormone specialist, but couldn't get in for like 3 months because that's how many resources we have for menopausal women.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was on a like wait list. It was like a 3 month wait, which at the time I was like, it's fine. It's not an emergency. I can handle it. I can just tough it out for 3 months. And then about a month later, things were just worse. just kept getting worse. And I finally was like, I can't live like this. So I made myself an appointment. I was like, surely some doctor can help me with this, right? Like doctors are doctors and they know they've probably treated a lot of women my age for
Yes.
similar symptoms. This should not come as a surprise to anybody, right? So
Reasonable thought, reasonable request. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I probably, wanted to get my blood checked because I was like, okay, I'm bleeding a lot. So iron deficiency, whatever. So I found a provider in my network, general practitioner, for the next day because I was just feeling very desperate at this point. Um, got in. I'd never worked with this doctor before. Um, she proceeded to prescribe me trazodone
Oh my God.
for
Yep.
sleep,
That happened to me.
and doubled my dose for my antidepressant that I've been on forever, Wellbutrin, like just basically doubled the dose. Um, and I was a mess. Like I was a wreck. Clearly something was wrong with me, right? And I just felt like she just sort of was like, okay, well, clearly you are, this is a mental health thing, so we're going to treat that. And I
Mhm.
kept telling her like, I know my mental health. This is not that. This is not a nervous breakdown. Something else is wrong with me. Like I've had nervous breakdowns. Like
Yeah.
I know what it's like. This is not that. So she just loaded me up with more meds. Not that I'm opposed to medication by any stretch, but I was just in my head thinking, this doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. I don't think this is right. But Nicole, I'm a people pleaser.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to make a
Most
fuss.
women are.
Yep. So and I thought, she's a doctor. She's a woman. She's middle
Mhm.
aged. She must know what she's talking about. And I wasn't in my right mind. So I just let her write me a prescription for trazodone and this increased dose of meds. Um,
And
and
off you
and off I went. Yeah, and I didn't fill the prescription, the trazodone, because I just knew like
went.
this isn't right. I don't want to put this in my body.
Yeah. And
Wellbutrin.
anywhere in that conversation, sorry, did she talk about menopause? Did she say anything
No. So
about menopause?
okay, here is as I was walking out the door, she jotted down some helpful hit tips.
Oh, wow. Can
Let
you
me
read
let me read these. Yes.
some this was the prescription that you got as you walked
Yes.
out?
Yes,
Okay.
along with my trazodone and my increased dose of Wellbutrin, these were the other instructions she gave me in my perimenopause journey. Because I kept telling her, like, this is perimenopause, I think, right?
So you were telling her, but she
Yes,
was not saying, yes,
I was telling her,
that's
like, I think this is perimenopause. I got some blood work drawn up, found out I was anemic, by the way. My iron levels were terrible. But this is the guidance she provided me. Mindfulness, gratitude, get yourself outside, service, volunteer, exercise 30 minutes a day times 5, 7 to 9 hours. I think that means sleep, eat veggies and protein.
So I'm laughing because if anyone knows you, they know that you do pretty much all these things. I mean, you are constant, like, you're one of the people who goes to the boundary waters. Like, you do crazy outdoor things, and I like outdoors, but I would never do. So this is hilarious to me.
Mhm.
This is what
That's
she said you should
that's
do.
Yes,
Because he's probably doing it all, right?
yes, that's exactly what Ian said. He got home, he looked at this, and he's like, "So you just should just keep doing what you're doing?" And it was such a, I was so stunned. It was
Yeah.
such a slap in the face. And I just felt like if, women are not seen, we are not heard, nobody believes us. And this right here is like written
It's
proof,
true.
doctor's orders. I felt like she gave me this and I just took it. I was so not in my right mind at that moment. I just was like, okay, I guess this is what I need to do. And I remember I got in my car and I just broke down. I'm like, nobody's listening to me, nobody's helping me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just, and I don't want to cause a scene. I don't want to cause
Mhm.
a fuss. I don't want to be a difficult woman. So I'm just going to exercise 30 minutes a day and
Get
eat
outside.
veggies and protein. And yeah, I felt so defeated and so not even pissed off. I didn't even have like the wherewithal to be pissed off at that moment. I got the next day I got into a rage about it, but at the moment I felt so almost silly. Like, am I imagining things? Am
Yeah.
I making things out of proportion? Am I being dramatic? Maybe this is all in my head.
And so I have a stat for you. I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's the North American Menopause Society. They found that 45% of women believe that their healthcare provider did not take their concerns seriously when they went in, and the concerns is broad, right? So but it's generally talking about women who are of our age who go in and say, hey, I can't sleep. Hey, I've got increased anxiety. Hey, I'm gaining weight. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And
Yep.
they felt almost dismissed.
Yep.
It sounds like that's not surprising to you, given
Oh
what you've
God. This
experienced.
right here, this piece of paper, and you can, I mean, HIPAA, whatever, you can blast this everywhere. But yes, this was an absolute dismissal of everything that I had been asking about and
Wow.
trying to get help for. And fortunately, I have resources. A lot of my family, they're in the medical field. My friend Leah, like I have a lot of other resources and advocates. They were all like, don't listen to this, keep fighting. But I just think about all those women out there who don't have advocates in their lives,
Yeah.
who don't have the resources, who don't have health insurance, who don't have somebody trustworthy, who don't have awareness about perimenopause, who just take this and pop the trazodone and pop the
Yep.
extra meds and say, well,
Well,
I guess this is life now.
so I popped the trazodone. Almost the exact same thing. So I walked in. Mine was a little different. So my issue was I wasn't sleeping. I was having. Well, initially my first symptom was no sleep, and when you are anyone, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're in a professional setting, you cannot function on no sleep. Like it
No.
gets to the point where you're like, I just cannot do this anymore. So I went to my doctor and I told her the same thing. I'm like, look, I'm dying. Like I need sleep. And I've tried a lot of things. I've tried, white noise. I've tried closing the blinds so the room is darker. I've tried sleeping away from my husband, who's a snorer. I've tried all kinds of stuff, and it's not working. And so initially, she tried to give me a really hardcore sleeping. It's for insomnia, and it's a narcotic. And I was like, absolutely not. I can't even take Benadryl. Like, I can't imagine what I will be like on this. And then she prescribed trazodone. And she said it's actually used for anxiety and depression, but it has sedative effects. So let's try this. And I was so desperate. I mean, I really didn't want to take it. I was so desperate. I did it, and it helped me sleep. But I woke up the next day and I wasn't exhausted, but I was like zombie-like. And I did that for a little while, and I thought, this is not the solution. This is not it. And so then, and I'm curious to know if you did this too, anytime at your journey, I turned to supplements. And so I can't tell you how much money I've spent on. Yep. Okay. So I have, look at this. And these are like not all that I'm taking. I've spent money and they're sitting here collecting dust because I'm like, these don't work. And they're so expensive that I don't want to keep up, the $100 a month subscription, and I need like 4 of them. There's got to be a better way.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Magnesium,
Let me find mine. Yeah.
I have two different types of magnesium because this one upsets my stomach. And then also you're supposed to take calcium. And then I found a calcium and magnesium combined. So I thought, oh, I'll get
Oh,
smart. But that also, it's like it just all messed up my stomach.
yes.
I have a sensitive stomach to begin with. So all this stuff just my iron supplement because I'm iron deficient. I still take this, but I went through 3 different types of iron to finally find one that would sit in my stomach. But yeah, it's like, so all this hodgepodge of,
Right.
you know,
And it's time consuming. It's frustrating. It's
oh my
expensive.
God. Yes. Yep. And you
So
still feel like shit.
and you still feel like shit. Yeah, that's the best part. It's like, okay, this is only modestly better if even.
Yeah.
But like you look like you're rested. You look like you're
Thank
getting
you.
sleep. So
Yes.
like, what happened between then and now? Like, did you
Um,
find some help? What did that look like?
Yes. So I kind of turned into a warrior for myself. And I have to say, I'm in retrospect, I'm really proud of myself. And I don't know where I got the strength, honestly, but I think I was just so, I just was like, so it was summertime by this point, right? So I'd seen this first doctor in early June, and it was going to be like almost August before I had my appointment with the hormone therapist. And I knew just based on like my friend Leah that, okay, this could really help me. Um, I don't want to spend my entire summer feeling miserable. I don't want to spend, I love summer. It's the season I live for. This is why we live in Minnesota. I don't want to spend it feeling like crap. So I called called the office the next morning after I got this little piece of paper. Um, and I just was so desperate. And I called and I said, is there any chance like in the next like couple weeks, there's a cancellation, something. And this one, and I started crying on the phone, and it was not a manipulative tactic. I could not keep my shit together. And I started crying on the phone. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, Tuesday morning. Um, and this receptionist, God bless her, said, can you be here at 1?
Mm.
We have a cancellation, be here at 1. Um, and that was the moment where it was like, okay, turn around. I saw this hormone specialist. Her name is Jennifer Dema. She is like an angel from heaven. She listened to me just blubber for an hour, just like I think I went through a whole box of Kleenex. I was such a mess. And she just sat there patiently and listened, took notes, asked me so many follow-up questions, and then put me on a low dose of progesterone, which I started on immediately. And I would say maybe a month later started to feel better. And now I feel like my old self. I
Wow.
confidently say like I feel, and I don't want to say I feel like a new person because I don't. I feel like my old self
Yeah.
and a gift. And I know there's a whole bunch of misinformation out there about
Yeah.
hormones, and that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. But like, it worked a miracle for me. And yeah, and then I also had an ultrasound to try to figure out this bleeding stuff, and I had a DNC to take care of that, and I saw an OBGYN for that procedure, and she also heard me and listened to me. And I think that was also part of my healing, or
Yeah.
what, I don't know, healing, maybe that's not the right word, but
It is.
I felt heard, I felt seen, I felt somebody validated to me that you are not crazy, you are
Yes. Oh
not
my gosh.
alone. There, this is something that is happening to your body to be aware of, so I could like learn more information about it. So I think that was a big part of it too, is just having somebody validate that this is real.
Yeah. 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 You know what? I think that's one of the biggest things because so many of the women I've spoken with, they feel the same, right? Because they are dismissed. They're dismissed, maybe by friends, maybe by now. You and I are fortunate because we have spouses who, listen and are supportive. And my husband, bless his heart, likes to say, it sucks to be a girl. And I'm like, yes, it does.
Yeah,
Sometimes it really does suck to be
yeah.
a girl, I'm not looking for sympathy, I'm just looking for understanding. But after
Yes.
you get dismissed and you like continue to beat your head against this proverbial brick wall and not get any answers or just make incremental progress, it does start to feel like am I crazy? I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think about a year ago I posted can't remember if it was Facebook or LinkedIn, but I was like, I feel like I'm losing my mojo. Like I'm losing myself. Like, I
Yes.
don't know who I am anymore. So your comment about you felt like yourself, that's really all we're trying to get back to. It's like, can
Yes.
I just get back to feeling like
Yeah.
myself?
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because I think, yeah, we're not looking to 10x our lives or whatever. We just want to feel normal again.
Yes.
That's it. That's the
Yes.
request. We just want to feel like we are not crazy, that we're not imagining things, that we just want to feel like our normal selves. And
Yep.
that should not be too much to ask for.
Exactly. So that's a big thing that I'm hoping to do with this column and with these occasional podcasts. I want to kind of normalize, right? Normalize this
Yeah.
discussion. Have women, because like you said, there are a lot of women who don't have the networks, who don't have the resources, who don't have, these friendships where they can talk openly about this. And then you sit there and you feel like I am alone and
Yep.
I am crazy, but you are not. You are not. And so that's the biggest thing I want people to take away from this.
And thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I do feel like, I mean, I'm a pretty smart person. I mean, I'm pretty aware. I feel like I'm pretty well read. I am a curious person. I ask questions. I like to learn about new things. And I had no clue what was happening to me. Zero. Without my friend Leah, I probably would still be spiraling. Um,
Yeah.
because I had zero awareness about it. You know, when you're a kid, you learn about puberty, you learn,
Mhm.
and then as you get married and you have kids and you learn all about, having a baby. And it's
Yeah.
like, it sort of feels like after you've had your children, it's sort of like nobody cares anymore. Like
Mhm.
your vessel, your human woman vessel has been used for its purpose. And
Yeah.
now nobody talks about what happens next.
Right.
So that, I think, to me, that was the biggest surprise, was this how did I not know about this?
Hmm. Yeah.
Why
Right.
the
Exactly.
surprise?
And we're journalists, right? I mean,
Yes.
we're journalists, and so you would think that we would be able to get our hands on this information and kind of figure
Yeah.
out what was going on, but there is so little.
Yeah.
Now it is changing. Like
Yeah.
it feels like menopause is having a moment. It feels
Yes.
like I think it's Gen X women that are finally like, look, it's our it's our generation. We're like,
Yeah.
this will not stand. I am not okay to suffer in silence.
Yes.
We need to
Yes.
talk about this.
Yeah.
We need to get information front and center. And so I
Yep.
feel like there's momentum. And so this will
Yes.
finally
I
start to
love it.
change.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
Another thing too, I think, just to add to that, I feel like women who, especially who are upwardly mobile, who are,
Mhm.
at the age that we are, where you are really successful in your career and you've reached sort of this, you're still on that upward trajectory. This is not the time or place to declare that you are now weak.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
And
That is a whole other
and
segment.
that's, yeah,
Yes.
that's a whole other
Yes.
conversation. But I feel like women, so if you are in a position of authority and you don't know what's happening to your body, you're probably not going to ask for help or say something's wrong. You don't want to admit that you're weak.
Admit weakness.
Yeah, so I just feel for, and these are women who are at the top of their game, who
Mm.
probably don't feel like they can ask for help or talk to their friends, or so I'm so grateful to you for doing this and raising awareness, because like, even women at the top of the ladder
Yeah.
need this resource. Does not discriminate again,
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
socioeconomic status. Everyone
Yep,
is
I think it's a
needing
great
this.
unifier. It's a great leveler, for sure. So, well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you sharing your story and being so open about it. I do have one parting question for you,
Yes.
and that is, what? And it's hard to narrow down, but just
Yeah.
given what we've talked about, what piece of advice would you give other women who are kind of like us, who were early in that journey and had no idea that we were in perimenopause? What would you say to women who are just starting to experience some of those symptoms?
Keep fighting. Fight for yourself. Just
Mm-hmm.
don't give up on yourself. Don't settle and suffer in silence. Fight for yourself.
Great parting words. And with Rosie the Riveter in your background, no less. I love it. I love it.
We can do
Lynn,
it, ladies.
This has been absolutely fantastic. I hope to have you on again. Sounds like we've got a lot more that we can talk about. So thank you so very much.